So, as we were just talking on this comment on the eye, this one actually nails exactly what was going on. As Darren White told Erica and I, on Ryan Buckner was running an unauthorized investigation, which is funny that those same words are being used on the internet. Ryan Buckner was getting his orders from Chris Bacchus, who was getting his orders from Marty Chavez. We had the New Systems SID contract at the time, and from it's still, none of it makes any sense to us whatsoever, except for the fact that what Darren told us was Ryan Buckner was going to set up Kevin McCabe, Joe Hudson, and Ray Schultz, and it was all going on 2 weeks before the election. If he would have been successful in trying to make us look bad and create the air of a criminal entity with such a classified contract as the New Systems contract, it would have been a huge goal, a huge win for him. So Darren set us down, told us that Ryan was setting, his original plan was to set us up, and then of course when Ron Olivas went and said something to Brad told us the rumor he'd heard, the bottom fell out of it, and Buckner ran off into the dark, as he does. Man, you know, this would probably ought to jump through questions at that point, because that's, from what we've gathered, from what we've been told, from what our investigators have found out, from what Darren sat down and told us, from what his wife text messaged to Erica, from everything that we found out, everything that numerous 34s out there have found out, this whole thing was a scam. It was all a scandal that Brad accidentally stepped into, and Ryan played a smart card, reversed everything Brad's direction, that Brad was tipping off a criminal organization so he could walk away unscathed and continue on with his life. Unfortunately, in the meantime, Brad's life has been just wrecked and ruined to no end. And Ryan, being the guilty party that he is, because make no mistake of it, Ryan, Darren did tell us point blank that you ran this surveillance on us during the burglary of our house, and that he'd actually even seen the reports. So, you know, Ryan goes on stand and testifies that there was never any surveillance, but yet Ron Olivas goes on the same stand in the same day and testifies he identified Brad's son from the videotape. Now, call me crazy if you like, but Ryan Buckner, who's the head investigator of this supposed crime cartel, testifies that there was never any surveillance. Ron Olivas, who is the guy that, you know, goes and tells Brad all this stuff, goes on the stand and testifies that he saw videotape. Where is the videotape? Why did Ryan Buckner, why did McCandless, the FBI agent, why did all these guys lie about surveillance? Was it the fact that the videotape from the surveillance proved that there was no crime going on here? That's the million-dollar question we all have. In the meantime, Brad's still facing prison time. How can that be? And that's the simplest question. How does Ryan Buckner testify there is no surveillance? Ron Olivas identifies Brad's son from a videotape. It's, at the end of the day, this whole thing was a scam. And unfortunately, Ryan Buckner sold the right people on the right program. You know, as the attorneys have spoke, as Brad and I have spoke, you know, if there were any sort of criminal activity here, you know, one of the big things that Ryan Buckner, and oh, by the way, Brian, our attorneys know about this too, we have the documentation from the credit union, as he accessed our bank accounts without a search warrant, and found that there was no illegal activity whatsoever going on in our bank accounts. That is stuff that can't be changed, it can't be altered. You know, the evidence that there was never any crime here is beyond the shadow of a doubt. That's why 2 years later, we're still fighting this. Ryan Buckner set us all up. There's no two ways about it. And in the meantime, when he got caught in his little dirty web that he was weaving, he turned around and hung Brad out. And I mean, hell, I don't even know what else to tell you. Ask questions. It's so infuriating. It's so frustrating when we have the transcripts. You know, I see on the blogs all the time where people are telling people read the transcripts. If you read Ryan Buckner's transcript, you'll see Ryan Buckner is a liar. I'm assuming I have to have good language on this. Point blank, he is a liar. He is a criminal with a badge. Over with, said and done. And we're not going to stop with this until we prove that he's a criminal with a badge. Bottom line. You know, whatever the judge does to Brad in the next 10 days, you know, nothing can be done about that. We have gone and exhausted every means possible to expose the truth. And the problem is, and this is Brad's biggest enemy, is the wrong people don't want to know the truth. The U.S. Attorney doesn't want the truth. She's never wanted the truth out there. If the truth was out there, Ryan Buckner would be on trial right now. Chris Bacchus would probably be sitting really close to him, and Darren White would absolutely be facing criminal charges.